So this is our first video, and hopefully, as you can tell, we've got a little background music. We're going to be starting off with an 80s theme, and our first song is Danger Zone. Alright, so we are in the simplifying unit. The first thing we're going to learn how to simplify is absolute value and order of operations. What I would like you to do is keep a separate section for your vocab versus your notes. The reason for that is that if you run across a term that you don't remember what it means, you know exactly where to find it, instead of trying to remember which section or which learning target did I give the vocab for and digging through your notes that way. So if you're in Notability, just go ahead and start a vocab sheet, title it Simplifying Unit Vocab, and then you will file that under your vocab folder. If you prefer paper and pencil, just leave the first maybe 2 pages for vocab, and then you can start the notes after that. So absolute value, remember, is distance from 0 on a number line. Distance is always positive. Think about if you're talking about walking half a mile to school. You don't say that you walk negative half a mile home. It's the same distance. Distance is positive. It's just a different direction. So when we're talking distance, always positive. All right, order of operations. Most of you have probably heard and used the term PEMDAS. There are several issues with PEMDAS, which I will explain to you. And when I have students who fight me and use PEMDAS to perform order of operations, they usually get the wrong answer. So I would love it if you would forget PEMDAS and learn the real order of operations. First of all, order of operations only has 4 steps. If you think about PEMDAS, there are 6 letters, so it implies 6 steps. The first step is not parentheses. It is grouping symbols. And there are many different types of grouping symbols. Yes, parentheses are one of the most common types of grouping symbols, but you could also see brackets, the fancy brackets. Absolute values are grouping symbols, as well as a fraction bar. The second step is the only part of PEMDAS that is actually accurate, and that is exponents. The third step is not multiplication. It is division and multiplication, left to right. Most students, when they see an order of operations problem, if they use PEMDAS, they think they have to multiply before they divide, and that is not always the case. When you read a book, you read left to right. When you read a math problem, you read left to right. Multiplication and division carry the same weight, so we perform those operations in the same step, in the correct order, as we read the math problem. And same for subtraction and addition, left to right. Screen isn't going right here. So if you're reading the problem and the subtraction comes first, you will subtract before you add. All right, so that is the vocab for this first learning target. So I would like you to either open a new sheet in Notability, or like I said, keep those first 2 pages for vocab and start your notes after that. If you are in Notability, make sure you drag the Cornell Notes in there, and then you've got it all set up for you. Otherwise, just start off your notes the way that I have, and then I also modeled the lines on my notes for you as well. So unlike most math classes, I would assume, you start off with Chapter 1, Section 1. Well, this year we're focusing on learning targets. Our first learning target for day 1 has 2 objectives. By the end of class time tomorrow, not by the end of this video, by the end of class time tomorrow, I want you to be able to say, I can evaluate absolute values, and I can correctly evaluate order of operations. So first we're going to take a look at some basic absolute values. So go ahead and pause the video if you are not with me, jot down the first example. I'm going to keep rolling. We've got 5 in the absolute values. So we're thinking distance from 0. Well, 5 is 5 units from 0. Holy smokes, my calibration's off. And the next one, we've got an order of operations problem. We've got 12 minus 21 inside the absolute values. So the first thing we will do is simplify that expression. And now that we have it down to a single number, we will think -9 is 9 units from 0 on a number line. So we make that negative positive.